we go. Oh, wait, hold on. The audio, I need to hear you. You're muted. Unmute, please. So we can talk to AEDIN Moloney.
Hi, how are you?
Shalom! Shalom to you!
Shalom to you too.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm delighted to be here and speaking with you. Thank you very much for.
Oh, I love that accent. It's like having all the Clancy brothers in one room together talking at once. It's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this lovely lady, her name is AEDIN Moloney. A couple of things I want to tell you about her. Most of all, she's been an actress for several years now. She's been doing tons of shows at the Irish Repertory Theatre, including a new one. She was born in Dublin. You can hear that in the accent. And we're so proud about 5 years ago that your dad was on this program, Paddy Moloney.
No, I didn't.
Oh, so you don't watch the show and you didn't know. That's on you. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That is amazing. I'm so happy to hear this. I'm so happy to hear this.
And he was so proud because at the time, one of the things we were talking about was that he was working with you. He was composing music for the Mali. Oh, no, don't get all clamped on me. But I'm just saying that yes, he was working on the Molly Bloom show, creating this underscoring music with you on this. I'm pretty sure this current project, yes, reflections on Molly Bloom. So the first thing is, what was it like working, not just being a daughter, but being a collaborator with your own father?
Oh, listen, it's the only project that we've collaborated on. And, he's passed away. He died in October. Sadly, we lost him. But I'm delighted that I did get an opportunity to work with him. And, his passing, now it means even more to me that I did have that chance. And it was a very special experience because I knew what I wanted with the music. And he instinctively, without much explanation on my part, he just knew what to do. He knew what I was after. And it was very easy. And he went to Galicia in Spain and, recorded with Xorsha and Carlos Nunez to create the sound I was looking for. Molly Bloom is half Irish, half Spanish.
And possibly Jewish. We don't know.
Exactly. No, she is. I think she is. I mean, she states it very clearly that, at one time in the text, that, I suppose, she says, I suppose on account of my being Jewish looking after my mother. And her mother's name was Lunita Laredo. And I haven't done too much research on this, but the little bit I did do, James Joyce does not do anything by accident or throw stuff in there. Everything is like mathematical and methodic and with that free flowing, but he doesn't make mistakes. And the little bit of research I did do, now you might be able to correct me on this or know more.
Of course I will. Yes, what?
But Lunita Laredo was an old Jewish surname, family name from Portugal. And like an ancient Iberian Sephardic Jew. And I think that's what he's getting at. And, quite honestly, in Irish heritage, if we Irish people, when we do our DNA, on 24andMe and all those other sites, yes, it's something like 90 something percent of my DNA is Celtic and also Nordic, like through the Vikings. However, there's always both on my mother's side and my father's side, there's something like 3 to 4%, sometimes 6%, if it's my brother who did it, that we're from Spain, from Iberia and Western Asia. So, clearly, there is that running through Irish people's blood. And I do, going back probably centuries now, but, there is a little section of us all that has that in us.
Well, because it turns out, I mean, I did the test with a spit and a phlegm and a thing and a tube, and
Yeah, yeah.
like turns out like 97% Russia Polish, 3% asshole. So it really it came back. It was a really interesting test. It was a guy scrawled on it by hand. It's like don't spit at us again. Don't bother us. But
I love you. You're so funny.
thank you so much. So, but here's the deal. I also wanted to ask about working with you because the thing about Molly Bloom is, she's a little bit of a slut. We could possibly say she's very front forward about her sexuality, about her boobs, about all. So, I mean, when you're going over the text with your dad, were there moments when you're like, well, you don't have to do music for this part. I'll just black this stuff out, and we'll start here under here. Or was there any of that or not?
No, no, not at all. First of all, he couldn't watch some of those pieces, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't let him. I'd be totally embarrassed if he did. He's my dad, So, I mean, to be honest with you, there's only a small percentage of the text that is sexual, and they're the dirty bits that everybody goes to and
Oh,
wants to.
yeah. It's the ones I underline in red crayon.
You
Absolutely.
know, and I think they've been interpreted, I interpret things a little differently. My interpretation is not quite the same as the traditional interpretation. It's quite unique. First of all, these are private moments. And there's no audience. It's just her. And, when something is private and personal, it is less it has less of a for a woman it has less of a masculine sexuality, or what is perceived as being sexual or sexy. And like the final moment, I interpret as being a celebration of life, of Mother Earth, of the earth, of procreation, of her children. A woman's, and when she celebrates her own sexuality, which is very, very different. And my interpretation of when she pleases Poldy, her husband, is one that she doesn't really engage with. She doesn't physically feel herself. And
That's a typical Jewish woman for you right there. And
oh, there you go. It's a typical Irish Catholic woman too.
but here's the other question about that, going even beyond that, of like it's a 50-page block of text with no, and it's like the Torah. There's no punctuation in it. How the hell did you even figure out to? I think I'll put a comma here, semicolon here. I mean, she's a woman, so she will have periods. So she put a period here. I mean, how did you even go through that to figure out where to stop and start and turn things into recognizable sentence patterns?
Well, first of all, when I was 10 years of age, we didn't have a television. And I was an avid reader. My father was, obviously a musician out on tour. I was at home alone with mommy and my brother, and my two brothers. My baby brother was born at that stage. And all we did was read, and my mum encouraged it. And I had run out of books, and I found this book, didn't know anything about it, on the shelf. And, I said, okay, what is this? And quite honestly, I was quite a lonely child, and I used to, the way I played was by reading, and I would read aloud. I had a sense of the dramatic even as a child. So everything I read aloud to myself in my tiny little bedroom, my box room. And I found this book and I started reading it, and it was Ulysses. I didn't know anything about it. A child's mind is like, if you don't poison it with this is bad, this is good, they're like a sponge. They accept everything. They don't question anything. They feel and see and observe and read on an emotional level. Like if you put a child in front of a piece of Picasso or a piece of, abstract art, they will have an opinion on it.
Oh, usually I threw up. I was stood in front of
There
a
you go.
pasty for 7 minutes, and a pastrami sandwich just like came out of me, and it hit the painting, and nobody could tell it was there.
There you go. You see what I mean? But you had a reaction.
Yes.
So when I read Ulysses, I read it out loud. The music of Joyce just flowed out, and the characters were dancing all around me. And And it was like how I played, I had company, I had people in the room with me. And I know that sounds a little odd, but it's not, it's a child. And so I did not find the book difficult. I also enjoyed the fact that he was a rebel and he was breaking all the rules of grammar that the nuns had beaten into me. you know, the
Wait, wait, wait,
things.
wait, 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 wait. What? I mean, you are from Ireland. You went to school in Dublin in your early years. Did they actually still do the ruler thing with the thing?
Yes, yes, I got on this on the palms of my hands, but well, they weren't that bad in my era, but at all. But we did get smacked on the hands with the ruler by our teachers.
And you weren't in a convent doing laundry for everybody for a minute.
No, 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 nothing like
checking.
that. So I know it was good, but it was but there were rules of teaching back then that are probably a little less stringent than they are now. And but anyhow, to cut a long story short, when I read it, the great puzzle that is Ulysses and James Joyce was very clear to me and just unraveled right in front of my eyes and ears. And, and I accepted it and it ran through me. And then when I came back to it as an adult, in 2003, Colin McCann, my friend, the author Colin McCann, had invited me to read some of the Penelope chapter, Molly Bloom, at an event he was hosting, and for Bloomsday. And so I did that. And then he said, Jesus, you really understand this text? And I said, yeah, I do. And he asked me to start the adaptation. So it's taken quite some time, but the first thing I did was I could see where the punctuation was, the breath. It's not so much punctuation as breath, where Molly draws breath. And it was very clear to me. So that was the first step. And then I started to just gently uncover the arteries of what I believe are the real story that Joyce.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know I'm talking to an Irish person because just the way you put that, the arteries of the story. I've never heard that phrase, but that's wonderful. Did that come off the top of your head?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's so. This is why the Irish are writers and actresses and performers. By the way, let me tell a couple of things. First of all, you mentioned that the guy's name is Colin McCann, right? He co-conceived.
Correct.
Did the piece with you, even though it's a solo piece, that you are doing at the Irish Repertory Theatre on West 22nd Street. It is playing now through. Oh, hold on one moment. Somebody's calling me on my cell phone. Could you take this? And the other thing is important. And it's my rabbi. He thought I was going to tell stories about when he used to whip us with a horsehair whip. Eventually, I grew to like it. Don't. Yeah. But it's running now through July 17th. It's called Yes, Reflections of Molly Bloom. And it's one of many, many shows that you've done at the Irish Rep. Do you feel like you have sort of a home there off Broadway?
I do.
And all those people.
Oh, yes. I love Charlotte and Kieran. I mean, I go back a long way with them. I was in the very first two productions at their current space in 22nd Street in 1995. The two plays were Same Old Moon by Geraldine Aron and Juno and the Paycock by Sean O'Casey.
That's a masterpiece. That's one of the greatest. Yeah.
So and being a Dubliner, it was, a no-brainer.
Well, speaking of Dubliners, and things like, I mean, you've immersed yourself for like 25 years now in James Joyce's Ulysses specifically. I mean, are you going to be tackling like Finnegan's Wake at any point soon? Like River, run! What? No.
Well, I already have started looking at Finnegan's Wake. I've already started having a look at it. I am heavily influenced by James Joyce, and I really feel it's like a family member. Not to say that he is, but his work, it's very comforting to me and very sort of familiar to me. And, it's just I have a love for him and for his work and an understanding of who he is and what he was doing and an appreciation for it, as do many people. Yes, I am having a look at Finnegan's Wake. I don't know. I haven't told anyone that, but
Oh, scoop! Big scoop! That's a,
but I'm also I've been asked by Colin McCann to adapt one of his novels for the stage, and so
one
I
of Colin McCann's novels, not
yes,
okay.
yeah, one of his novels, and so so called Zoli, and so I have started working on that as well, and I mean I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy the I enjoy the work of being alone with this, and you know, maybe if I'd had a different education and a different approach to life, you know, I mean, we are who we are and where we are, but maybe I would have been gone into writing myself. But I guess it's never too late.
It's not like you're 87. I mean, for crying out loud. Let me ask you though. Also, I mean, everything has been about Joyce and Molly and Molly and Joyce and Molly. But what about what's like besides her? Your other favorite role that you have ever played?
Oh, my favorite. Actually, probably more so than Molly Bloom.
George
My,
Eliot? Or
yeah, yes. I loved that role. And I was involved from an early stage of the script being developed and written. I spent several months with the writer and I originated the role. And I read, oh my God, I can't explain to you. You know, it was spiritual and ghostly for me. I felt like that woman just came into me and was, you know, before I went on stage, she was with me. And, you know, it was truly a religious or spiritual experience for me. And I believe it was my greatest work. And I do believe that, you know, really good art sometimes, you know, I don't take credit for it. I take credit for, I'm not a religious person. I don't practice.
oh, shame on you! You should be Orthodox Jewish, but we'll get you
I should be.
you
I
should.
should be.
You should. You should.
But I have a deep, deep, deep spiritual and um, understanding, and you know, I do pray all the time,
Wait.
and
You're not a religious woman, and yet
no,
you
but I
pray more than
pray.
the average person. So how do you pray? What do you go
Yeah,
like? Hello, wall. Let me pray to you. What do you do?
no, no, I pray to the dead. I pray to people who were here and that who have, you know, I mean, and I believe they are still here. I believe in that. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that in. I believe that you know, even science. You know, I believe that my body is made up of atoms and molecules that belong to another person. So therefore, that is a type of reincarnation.
So do you ever have that thing like, oh, I feel I was a 13th century,
No,
no, none of that.
no,
No.
no,
15th
I
century,
don't.
no.
No. No, 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 none of that.
John F.
Because
Kennedy reborn prep. No, none of that. No, none of
no,
that.
no, no. I'm humble. I'm extremely humble. And but I pray for, you know, like for example, before I go on stage, you know, for Molly, I pray to James Joyce and I say, I'm scared and I'm nervous going out on stage and doing a 90-minute monologue by myself. And I want to do you justice and I want to do your work justice. And can you please be with me or give me some strength? And I feel that they do. And whether, you know, that is true or not, it helps me. And
I mean, if they start talking back, you belong on a
they don't.
psychiatrist's couch. But if it's just a one-way conversation, then you're
Yeah,
okay. Then it's I pray towards them, but as long as there's no waves coming back at you, you're still okay.
I do, but I do feel, you know, I do feel a presence. I do feel a great warmth and comfort come over me when I do ask, and when I do reach out to people that are gone. And it was the same when I played George Eliot. I really that woman I felt in the wings. I really did. I felt her presence.
We didn't
And
mention, by the way, I should say that the play we're talking about is called A Most Dangerous Woman that you
yeah,
did, and pardon me for using this language, but you did it in New Jersey. So be great if we could see this in New York, but you did do that there. That's the show we're talking about where you played George Eliot, who, by the way, is a woman, as you mentioned.
And
So,
I won awards for that too. So I'm happy to say it was at the wonderful Shakespeare Theatre of New Jersey. And they're incredible.
Bonnie J. Monty is the person running.
Yeah. Oh, it's a wonderful theatre. I love working there. I worked there again actually a couple of years ago. In 2019, I played the widow, a very sexy widow Quinn in or not widow Quinn, geez, that's the wrong play. The widow in Romeo and Juliet. I'm thinking of Boy the Western World, but in Romeo and Juliet.
Speaking of which, you always have to jump back. Like, what's the last? No, it was 2019, 2018, 20. What did you do during the pandemic? How did you, as a creative, did you just work on the play, this one, or what did you do?
I did a bit of. Well, first of all, I had a very mixed pandemic. My mother was unwell, and then my father was unwell, and he passed away. So and my husband was not well, and so we had a lot of things going on.
Is he all right? I mean,
yes, no, he's recovered, but he nearly died also. So it's been a very tough couple of years for me. However, I think sometimes when we are in a place of deep pain and a place where we're kind of flattened in life, and I think
you should be Orthodox Jewish.
I should be. Look at this profile. Look at this profile.
I know. Right? Yes.
You tell me.
No, I'm kidding. You're adorable. You got a great nose. Come on, don't.
Hey, look. Is that not Jewish? I'm telling you.
You're a Briscoe, and I am one too. There you go.
I loved him. So but out of that, I felt it was a great leveler and something strange, I had a really great time also because I had nothing and I felt everybody has nothing and within the arts. And I felt it was a great leveler. And finally there was silence and just all this noise before, whether it be, social media, all this competitiveness, all this crap, quite frankly, and art was getting lost. And I felt finally I can breathe and try and create something. So I taught myself how to edit video professional and at home here in this tiny little studio apartment, locked away. And I made these videos and, the last one, a series of videos called Alone Together, featuring, works of it's hard to explain, but the idea was like the final one, Rising, has won awards. And so what I did was I reached out to artists, friends of mine all over the world. And what I would do is give them a prompt and direction. And the prompt was rising from the dark into the light. I want you to write something, perform something, choose something that means something deeply personal to you at this very moment. So it was extraordinary what came back to me. So then I was like, oh my God, I have to edit all of these pieces together and create one piece. So I edited using all this footage and creating one film of a journey out of the darkness, deep in from under the ground. I'll send you a link to it. I'm really proud.
It's also on your YouTube, because you have a YouTube channel.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. It is on the YouTube channel. No, this one is not on the YouTube channel. I'll send you a link to it and I, let you see what it's like. But
now, speaking of before, because I only have a couple more minutes with you before I have to go. You're staying to play the game, which is what fun. Oh, you're in for fun. But speaking of more theater. You actually ran for a few years a theater company. You created, you founded. Okay. Any regrets about that? About just the mountain that you took on your shoulders?
God, you've done your research. You really.
I have minions who do.
Oh my God, you're good. No, you're really good.
It was called The Fallen Angel theater company, so it fell at some point, but it ran for a couple of years. But was it just too
Yeah.
much or what? Or what, you know?
Well, I'll tell you the story of Fallen Angel. Fallen Angel, I created this theatre company. It's a not-for-profit. It still exists.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. We haven't done any work for quite some time because I run it. It's an off-Broadway, and it was very successful off-Broadway theatre company. But you know, I'm a one-man band. I did all the marketing, did all the fundraising, all the producing, all the production management for each play. And you know, the idea behind it was that it would be a collective of artists who were tired of actors, who were tired of being employees and wanted to be feeling more empowered, and create a company that we ran as a collective. Of course, most actors don't want to do that.
Yeah, no,
Don't want to, you know, they just want the jobs.
Yeah.
So I, you know, the reason I do produce plays still with it, but I only produce maybe one every few years because it's exhausting, and you know, and fundraising, and you know, but I am planning something, and it's in the works, and I'm also but I'm more interested in, you know, I've negotiated a contract with Screen Actors Guild. So Fallen Angel Theatre produced the videos that I.
You were trying alone together, and then right.
Yeah, and the one in particular, Rising. So you know, when I get an opportunity after I finish working on this new go around of Reflections of Molly Bloom, I will be you know, focusing again on Fallen Angel.
Well, we have an angel with us in the neighborhood today. Her name is AEDIN Moloney. She's going to be staying on. We're kind of waiting for. I'm going to need. Can I have my telephone so I can text the people that we're waiting for to come on at 11 o'clock to play the today? Okay, that's fine. Good. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, just technical issues here. What, not launching? What the heck? Oh no! Try again. Oh no! Yeah.
You're funny. You're so funny. I tell you something.
I'm not joking. This is like, oh, he says, be right there. So we have coming up David Sheward, who is a theater critic. He writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com. He was also the former president of the Drama Desk, which is a big. They just had their awards the other day. And
they need to nominate me. They need to put me out there for best performer. I'm waiting.
If you win the Today Yesterday quiz, you get an automatic nomination for next year's Drama Desk Awards. It's just that's the way it works. It's fabulous. Let me also, you know what? Since you're here, let me give you the rules of the game, because everybody else knows that. Now, I don't suppose you've watched the previous.
I'm so nervous.
Here's the deal. It's simple. We have questions, and each participant gets a question in 3 rounds. So the question is worth 2 points if you get it right. If it's wrong, there's no, you don't get, a slap across the hands with anything, no. But one of the other contestants gets to try and answer and get those 2 points.
Ooh.
So, also at the very end, if needs be, we have a tiebreaker question, and that could, decide the game. But we do the tiebreaker whether or not. We just do it for fun. The whole thing is just there's no prizes. You don't get anything except a Drama Desk nomination.
That's what I was saying.
So, and that's it. And also, at some point, you will probably need a pen or some kind of writing implement, since you
we better get a pen.
Something to write on.
Okay.
So I'm going to let David Sheward into the room here, and I'm going to go away. It's been a
delight. I'm going to get a pen and paper. I'll be right back.
Excellent. You go.
Don't go anywhere.
Hello, David Sheward. Hello, David. David, that's AEDIN Moloney. She's getting a pen and paper. She's not leaving because she finds you offensive. She's getting her implements for writing. I'm Rabbi Sol Solomon. You, of course, know Dave Lefkowitz, who's going to be talking to you in a moment. But shalom, David. David, you talk to AEDIN while I go away for 30 seconds.
Hi, David. How are you?